that street? Or are you wanting us to say, we
Okay.
agree with that, or what is the?
Okay, well,
Planning and zoning has not made any recommendation. They have not agreed to we have not voted on that plan.
So,
Okay,
I thought you said us.
Okay, in the last meeting, we presented this idea. Okay, we were advised by the attorney that we could not vote on anything because this had not been published.
So planning and zoning hadn't voted on this.
It's a concept that I'm presenting to the council to,
Who created the concept?
okay, if you've been to Katy High School, just before you get to the stadium,
Yes.
there's a mobile home park. You go in there, it's like a subdivision. It's not like just some houses mixed in with some regular houses.
Is planning and zoning?
So we're doing an injustice to people to just placing them somewhere where there's a conflict.
But we're, my understanding, we're placing them where they are.
What I'm saying, so they deserve a nice neighborhood to go into. The only places that we have manufactured homes or mobile homes right now are just stuck in different subdivisions or, and I don't think it's a right solution for what we need to try to solve. We should be more
So would the
creative.
suggestion, so the suggestion, and I appreciate your work, Mr. Brown, you've been on planning and zoning for a very long time. But we've had similar issues on how we even got to the moratorium on mobile homes, manufactured home, whatever the definition may be.
Okay.
Because everybody felt like they didn't want to live next to what we're talking about. Now, we had people who brought property after the fact, who are now saying, hey, well, we want to do this and we want to do this. When we said, well, no, if you don't meet these, you can't do that. But you could build a smaller home, or you could build something that meets our standard. So you're saying that planning and zoning went, brought this concept because you're thinking that this could help, because there's applications, and I'm pretty sure we have a lot of applications since that manufactured home has went up, that wants to do something similar, but we have designated in our community where manufactured homes could go. So am I under the assumption that this whole definition about spot zoning came up is because if we don't allow this subdivision or street, okay.
Yeah, I don't,
Well, that's two different issues.
Okay.
I think that it was always the intent to change that section of Sharon Street to manufactured homes, and then that would eliminate the concept of spot zoning.
Right, but keep in mind, when the council, and as I recall, my predecessor, it wasn't 20 years ago, when the city went to zoning, anything there was grandfathered in. So what you see there is not the issue. The issue is, what is the zone? Because once you set your precedents, every one of those other 8 or 9 applications, who can we say no to? And worse, the council has said no to a few people already in other parts of our city. So we need to look at this from if we're changing that area, which is what some of us understood, at least a couple of us up here, maybe more, we thought you were changing the zone, not one person's piece of property, because we were told by prior council that is spot zoning, to go in and put something in the middle of a zone that was already zoned something else.
We understood that it was a rezone that planning and zoning have voted on, brought to us, said that they approved it. That came to us 2 or 3 times over a series of months, and we said that because it was a rezone, not for a section or the street, it was a rezone for that one property, that one address, that one manufactured home, because it was on a street that already had manufactured homes. The one home and the one property that was connected to this particular property was all owned by the same family. Those are the precursors to the decision. Is there something that on these other applications that have the same connection, because then we're,
Let me clear up Sharon Street for just a minute, okay. Now, when we make a decision on something, we can make a decision on that particular site and the conditions of the other residents in the neighborhood, but also what is the future plan? Okay, and so the future plan is to make that whole Sharon Street section approved for manufactured homes. Now, we could not do that at the same meeting, because now we need an application from those property owners. Is that correct?
No.
No.
Huh? But that's what I was advised.
If you
by
change a zone, the city's changing
No,
the zone.
okay, in that particular meeting, when we changed that one site,
Yes.
okay, it was our intention to change the whole street in the future.
No, on the minutes, and again, this is important because I now am seeing what we're saying. It says,
Okay,
existing R1, existing zone for specifically, I think, and I don't know who said it, but it gives the address, has the block, the lot, and the acreage, and it talks about the existing being R1 single family to manufacture home. We gave the approval for this address, this block, this .4132,
That legal description.
that legal description only to be a manufactured home because the information that was given to us, the only home that was on that street was owned by the parents, and the parents was the one who gave the permission and it had other manufactured homes on the street.
But that's not how it works though. We don't, cause anytime.
That is how it works. That is how it works.
Well,
So-
let me, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Anytime
And let me just be clear here. There was already a manufactured home on that property. The council and the planning commission said yes, and council said yes. So if you didn't want it, y'all could have said no.
You're talking apples and oranges. I'm saying that my understanding is when we changed the zone, we changed the zone of the entire street, as we've done every other time that we have never, and anytime we've gotten them, they came the exact same way with an address, the legal description, all of that, but it wasn't, I'm going to change in the place where the actual structure is going, it changed the entire zone. That's the issue isn't the mobile
that was the
home.
intention. That was the intention, to change the zone.
So
of that
we had this issue with off of Wise Chapel.
we had
And
to-
so the thing is, our intention of the information that was provided to us was that legal address, that legal description was the change. This is the second or third time now we've heard come back that now the whole zone has changed with Wyatt Chapel. You had the family that moved the mobile home. They were given the permission, and then for that one time, for that one legal description, and then came back where that whole area that I don't remember approving, that whole zone, what I don't remember approving, and then when people challenged the people for putting additional mobile homes, additional things, they said, well, once you change that one, you would change all of them. And so I never truly got a true legal opinion, description, or anything, but I just thought once it had a legal description on here, and we knew that we're changing a property zoning from, so if I have a R3 commercial, R3 multifamily, and I want to move it to a GC, but I only have 1 acre. My 1 acre that I go before planning and zoning is approved. Now, if Councilman Randall has 2 acres next to me, it doesn't automatically approve his 2 acres. He has to go back through the same process. And so,
It's just exactly how we did Mr. Vasquez. It's exactly how you will see Hawkins come up in the future. When Mr. Vasquez was here, we went from whatever R3 to GC. We just changed his property.
because his next door neighbors was residential.
Well,
let me share some.
But it was on
thought.
business 290, which y'all would want to be business at some point.
There at least,
that's based on the future intent of.
there's at least 2 individuals that were trying to move manufactured homes into Ferguson Heights.
Okay, that's a good
And
example.
they were told no, and there is no area in the entire city where you have more manufactured homes. So when you can say those people want to put a manufactured home on their property and they were told no, I think there may be 5 or 6 homes in the entire subdivision and about 20-something manufactured homes. They were told no, and they own property.
It was just the opposite of that.
And what we're saying now, I'm just saying we're going down worse than a slippery slope.
Okay.
That's in the minutes and the agendas.
The law says.
I wasn't on council, but I sat in that meeting and
I
I watched
wasn't the
this.
attorney then either. I don't know
Well,
what they
but
did.
what
or
I'm
why they
saying
did it.
is, we have to deal with this as a city. You weren't here. I get that. We have to deal
Okay,
with
and
what's
first-
been
Well,
going
then
on.
the question I would ask is why was Rika McCardle not ordered to remove her mobile home when she was put on the property?
Well, some of us thought a zone was being changed, not just a piece of property.
Then
The
we can
city
change
has a
the
history.
zone. Let's change the zone.
Then that's what I tried to bring up to
Planning-
skip all this, because we'll have to do the same thing for all the other 8 or 9 applications.
And those 8 or 9 applications are all defective, every single one of them.
Well, this is defective too.
Why-
How is
Because,
this,
well, because the 2 other individuals, well, I'll have to talk to you in legal.
I don't know anything
I
about those.
shared
But
this
I
with you.
thought Ms. McCardle was approved because basically she put her trailer house in anyway.
That was one of the reasons that she
No,
was
we
approved.
didn't
She
have-
had it there.
We didn't have to approve it.
You didn't have to approve
We
that.
approved it
Okay,
because of the circumstances behind the property. And, you know, I was on council when the Ferguson Heights thing came up. And when we changed the zone on an entire side of the street. And we didn't change, but the people on that, there were trailers on that side of the street.
Yeah, Whitechapel.
And
No,
No,
that's
Ferguson
Ferguson
Heights.
Heights, Ferguson Heights.
Because they already was
And
there.
people on that side,
We
the
approved
property
2
owners
areas.
on that side of the street, were okay with the zoning change. But when it came down to somebody wanting to change the zone on the opposite side of the street, outside of the one piece of property where he wanted to put the manufactured home at, the other property owners on that side of the street didn't want the zoning change. So that's why one went up and the other one went down.
But you-
But when we came to it just like this, as a legal description, and we changed the zone of the entire street, or the entire side of the street. And so, my understanding, maybe I'm way off base,
Okay,
but my
in Ferguson,
understanding
in
is.
Ferguson Heights, there's 2 areas. One is for manufactured homes, and the other one is for regular homes.
Which
We
one
would
is for
not
regular
let- We would
homes?
not let anybody put a manufactured home next to a regular home,
Right,
okay?
It's-
And
that's all
and
it
the
says,
citizens,
right?
the citizens came and they
in the zone.
asked us not to put those homes
Yeah,
there.
because they got
And
the
so
one
the-
house.
the 2 areas, the
They
2
got
streets.
They got that one house here.
There's 2
and they got the
streets.
one here.
The last street on the end and the one going next. next to it.
Council, I have a question, because, and I'll just say, if we've got this different misunderstanding, interpretation of this, we need to find out how to fix it. Can we take a look at changing the zone or being clear? Because we need to know what to tell these people, and our guidance is supposed to come from this body. And if this body has some confusion on what was done and how we go forward, how do we fix that?
The planning commission can make a recommendation to change that area, whatever part is appropriate, to manufactured homes. They would take it to council and council would vote on that.
Councilwoman Williams?
My question is, if Rosewood, if the residents in Rosewood were already spoken to or did some kind of survey, and they all said that they didn't want
No, it was just on the other side of
The-
Sheridan Street that they did.
the
that
manufactured.
They said, okay, if we allow that on this side, if you promise not to put them on next to our houses on the other side, we're okay with it. And that's what happened.
Okay, but now we're talking about putting some,
Wherever.
Well, we're gonna look at the streets where
Behind.
there's no regular homes to see if we can find an appropriate place to do a manufactured home park.
Okay, so how do we
I
handle?
think that we do people an injustice, just to say, okay, you just get a site wherever you want to, and come in and try to get it approved. I don't think that's the right way to do it.
But remember, only a property owner can request a zoning change of their property. How do we handle those other 8 or so requests? Because those people own property throughout that area.
Well-
We're saying you can put it over here, but you can't put it over here, when initially the whole area was zoned single family.
But that means,
Okay.
but are the people who are requesting it, if they bought the property with the intent knowing it was single family, but now they're the ones having the application for the manufactured home, they already knew that. The question is, does the city want to open up an area or a section in town that has the manufactured home, and does that neighborhood want it? And I think part of it, I mean, again, the manufactured home piece was supposed to be going back by where the most of our development, community development and things have gone in, which is by Texas Precast, back by off of there. The question is that we never identified a manufactured home area because of subsequent to the change in growth that's changed with our dynamics in the city in the last 5 years. Because we've had that map that map was, 8 to 10 years ago. And so we never really we need to go through another process of, well, in your neighborhood, or your community, what do you want to see? And actually submit what we're gonna do. This whole piecemealing, and then we have people coming in saying, well, they want to, they bought this property. They bought the property knowing they couldn't put no manufactured home, so they can't be mad. If for some chance we allowed it to have a manufactured home, that's a plus. But they bought it knowing that it was a single family home area. That was my understanding.
Well, I'm not sure when Ms. McCardle bought her property, but I know she lived in Katy with her children.
Her parents owned the
Owned the
property.
property.
Her parents owned the property. And she lived with her
We've
parents.
got a bunch of people who got inherited property, right next to and everywhere.
And
This is no solution.
I sort of disagree because some people come in with a deed, like a warranty deed, or they paid cash for the property, and they never did a title search and said, you're R1, you can't have a mobile home here. So a lot of people are just looking at the area and assuming by this area, and there's 6 mobile homes here, I'm thinking, this is what we get at the counter, every day, that are like, this is why I bought this lot, because there's 6 mobile homes on my street.
Right, but see, again, once you open the door,
Right.
it becomes how do you say no to one,
And
yes
then,
to somebody else?
and then of course, we're
because-
standing there talking to the customer and we're telling them, I'm not really sure. And they're like, what do you mean you're not sure? You're the city. Who's supposed to tell me whether I can put it in there or not?
Well, that's why it's on agenda, so we
Right.
can try to get some direction.
And I think that our comprehensive plan that we have been using that's very old, that it's time to update the comprehensive plan. And that would help if we had an updated comprehensive plan. It might say, this whole area is perfect for manufactured. It needs to be rezoned, or it might say it's not. But then we'd have more, you have from a plan professional telling you what other areas need to change. So maybe business 290 needs to change, maybe some.
And we agree with you. The problem we have is all of the prior changes had been changing an area. This is the first time we're changing an individual piece of property. And all the people that we told no, we don't know how long some of them own their property. I mean, this is real estate. Everything is in writing. It's got dates. We got agendas and minutes.
The last
We're
rezoning-
showing we're treating people differently, and we can't justify it.
Well, I would disagree with Mayor, because I saw rezonings where it was tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4, specific tracks that y'all rezoned,
Yes.
An area.
specific tracks.
Yes.
The area down Whitechapel, they
Yeah.
changed an area.
That was in the legal description, and we're saying, and we're saying the same thing.
Mhm.
In Wyatt Chapel, they had 1, 2, 3. In Miss McCardle, it had her one property. And so if, in the legal description, if it had 1, 2, 3, the entire street, the whole entire 2 acres, not just a .43, because I think I distinctively said that in the minutes about making sure it was just that .4132. And so I think we're saying the same thing, but we're saying in the legal description, if someone comes to rezoning, that we stick to what we vote on. And I guess the point the mayor's bringing up is that for the people who feel disenfranchised because they're not allowed to have a mobile home, I guess maybe not across the street, but maybe 2 blocks down, because they seen someone else get the mobile home. How do we deal with that? And I think our policies can stand up in court and will move forward. But we do need to have a conversation together on how do we move forward, because we can't have one person saying one thing and another person saying the other thing. And so I do agree that we just need to have the conversation.
Now, you have a street where there's more manufactured homes in that section than what you have regular homes. Do we ignore that?
But if they were
What
grandfathered
street is
in,
that?
it's irrelevant. The area is zoned for single family, they get to upgrade one time, and after that, whoever buys the property has to build a home. That's what the law says.
No.
So what's
I'm not
there-
sure the law says
What's
that.
there prior to the zoning going into effect is grandfathered in. Look,
Okay,
we can't
I think-
look at it
I
and
think-
say,
I think
okay,
that
we're
you-
gonna change that part.
That somebody would have a better lawsuit to
Yeah.
say, okay, you
So-
allow all these other manufactured homes, and you're not gonna let me have a manufactured home.
What street is that, Mr. Brown?
That's Sharon Street, that's what we're talking about. There are more manufactured homes on Sharon Street than there are regular homes.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sorry. Councilman Randall.
So, item number 6 says, discuss and take action on recent zone changes in Rosewood subdivision. What is the action that's being requested? Because we're talking, what is the purpose of this item on the agenda? What are we
Okay.
trying to?
We're trying to get clarification of, one, what was done, and some of us are just really finding that out today. And how do we fix it as we go forward, knowing we've got several pending applications in the same general area? Otherwise, we're gonna have to go to planning and zoning and city council on each one at a time. And who do you tell no to?
Okay, let me tell you the recommendations that we're making, okay? If you look at the last page, one is you need to update the comprehensive development plan. This will give us some directions around the city what we're gonna do. Then we need to change the planning and zoning map, and so we can map these things. This map, this is not sufficient. This was not done by us, and it's not done correctly. And this is what's causing a lot of problems at the front desk. We need a large enough drawing that's transparent, and they can see the streets, and they can go there and find out what the existing zone is and what they're trying to change it to, and they don't have access to that. Somebody changed this map and started putting in opaque colors rather than.
Hold on, Mr. Brown, Councilman Randall has a point he needs to make. Yes, sir, go ahead.
I move that we set up a town hall meeting with the city and planning and zoning to go through the recommendations that planning and zoning has made and begin the process of completing these things so we can move forward with the things that we do for planning and zoning.
They have not made any recommendations.
He just gave us the recommendation.
That's his recommendation.
So we've gone to them.
It's not gone to the
Well, we can-
planning.
well, we can
Yeah, we can
have
still
a-
set up
we
a
can
town
have
hall
a town hall
meeting.
meeting where we can make the recommendation and set it up then.
But I want to be clear, back in 2016, okay, there was an item, and this was the item. Conduct a public hearing to rezone property from single-family residential R1 to manufactured housing, being said property located at 1415 Cindy Lane. That particular address only. And it has a legal description, Ferguson Heights, Block 3, lots 14 and 15, applicant Elsa Vasquez. That was, that's how y'all did that then.
Who was
One
the
lot.
No,
We
we've
approved
done
it.
something.
Yeah.
That one didn't pass.
But that's how it was.
Vasquez.
Vasquez, that's how it was noted, that was what was presented to council, was the one lot,
Right.
that one particular lot on Cindy Lane.
And it didn't
It
pass.
was also
But the
denied.
one on the other side of the street where
But
they requested the
The other,
entire
I thought there
lot.
was one on Cindy Lane that did pass, because there
The
was.
one, it was on the
yes,
other side
on
of
the
the
other
street,
side
and
of
we
the
Across
changed
the
the
street from
entire street.
Yeah, that was that John?
That was John Milo.
Right, but what I'm saying is, and the one before it too, is the individual parcels of property, they might be larger,
Yeah.
but this is how you've always done, and this is 2016.
Yeah, the attorney's saying that when we're specifically,
Hold on, let's get the, you ready to start the motion?
yes, because,
Yeah, second, a second.
my unreadiness would be a date, and, we already, reached out, does planning and zoning already have some people ready who could do either the planning and zoning maps or help us with the comprehensive plan.
So we have a person who has agreed to do this. I'd like to keep the person on the payroll to keep this updated. Every time we make a change to the map, you'll put this on the computer, make a disk. This will be given to the city secretary, and nobody can change it.
But our
Each time we get
I
ready to
haven't
make a
answered your
change.
question. DeQualis Thompson is,
Yeah, that's what-
works at the university architecture department. He's going to help with the map. What, and the next item is dealing with the comprehensive plan, is that I'm recommending that we have a professional company help with the comprehensive plan, to redo the
So
comprehensive.
my agenda item will cover item 6 and 7.
Well,
Trying to find
it's really item number 7, dealing with the
Comprehensive.
comprehensive plan.
So all of that can be discussed with the town hall.
That's correct.
Make your motion to that, second.
Yeah, I'm.
Is this zoning?
He's not qualified.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe second.
Like a
can
professional.
I make another point?
Okay, hold up, we have a motion.
Oh, okay.
We have a motion, we gotta carry. It's been properly moved and seconded that item 6, discuss and take action on recent zoning change in Rosewood subdivision. And item 7, discussion of city zoning map, zoning ordinance, zoning procedures, and legal issues related to zoning, including but not limited to spot zoning and zoning map and text amendment changes. We have a town hall meeting? Okay, that we scheduled a town hall meeting to discuss these and all related issues. Heard the motion, ready for the question? Readiness?
Unreadiness is, can we change it from a town hall meeting to a workshop? I think this is an opportunity where all council would want to be there. If we have a town hall meeting, then we have the restrictions. If we have a workshop, then we all can talk, because we're not voting on anything. So, can,
We still have to post it if everybody's talking.
It's essentially the same
it's the
thing.
same.
Yeah,
Well,
same
They're the
thing.
same.
But we can just post it though,
Okay.
that will take care of it.
And then the date.
Okay.
There'll be no decisions made in this meeting? No, just talk.
Hold on, Mr. Brown, we have a motion on the floor. Any other unreadiness? All those in favor say aye. No unanimous? Okay, the motion passed. Item 6 and 7, we're gonna set up. Now, is there any discussion on a date?
A date.
We can go to the next step.
I'm out of town all next week.
So you do the 25th?
We'll just put, or put it, city council meeting.
Or just put it at 5 o'clock?
How about date?
No, you
You
need
recommend
more
a date?
time than that.
No,
So
whatever they can
it
do.
needs to be a day where it stands on its own.
Or we just meet earlier, and then the mayor can make sure we have some food, and come in at 4 and 3.
Sure.
And that's what the mayor will do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 3 o'clock or 4?
We're talking about work on this, so-
Let's talk about it on the 25th.
25th, the same day?
Do y'all think we can really put a comprehensive plan together and work on the rezoning map in 2 to 3
I think we
hours?
need a non-council.
We need a
to
full-
get us time for this.
No, the
Because we're
comprehensive-
gonna be, the comprehensive plan, we wouldn't do that. We're gonna have professionals come in. And so the only thing we wanna talk about is kind of the nuts and bolts of what we wanna put in our description for what we need, not necessarily how we're gonna solve the comprehensive plan.
We need to make sure that we agree on this comprehensive plan concept. I don't have a problem with the professional coming in, but somewhere we're gonna have to have some input.
That's
to
what,
let us
that's,
know
that's what this is for.
about.
That's what this is
That's
for.
what the that's what we're saying.
That's
We're trying-
town hall meeting.
And that's why we're saying, if we can do that
We can
first,
do-
and then if we have to have something where we select a person, then we can go into this.
We mentioned 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4, is it 2 hours or 3 hours?
3 or 4 is fine.
3? This we may run over.
Sleeping bag.
What day- what
So
day-
3 o'clock, same Monday,
On what date?
3 o'clock?
They said the 25th.
Yeah.
What date?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
25th, June 25th, same day as council, from 3. We have
And
until
it
6.
was, the motion was a town hall, I think. Because the motion passed. Same difference, but we just have to post it all we do.
Okay, if I can just make one last point. How about time? And that is, we need a zoning officer position here. And also, if we're gonna
Mayor.
collect fees for people putting in applications, then that would give us funds for publishing and also to keep the map up to date and things like that.
Yeah, that's.
Now, what I believe is that the zoning officer is the person